Being with us tonight for our January 2024 webinar, which is a community briefing. We're going to share with you the wonderful accomplishments we had in 2023 and to share with you some of the exciting programs and services we are hoping to launch in 2024. For those of you who are new to CMHRC, my name is Elizabeth Errico. I am the Executive Director, and our mission is to provide guidance and resources for early identification and management of mood disorders, bipolar disorder, and its newly identified phenotype dubbed FOH. I'm going to share with you now a very brief video that we made that will share with you an overview of CMHRC and the services we have available.
When kids are struggling, it's often labeled as behavior problems. But in many cases, those behaviors are actually symptoms of mental health challenges. Identifying symptoms, determining whether or not there's a mental health condition, and getting effective treatment can be confusing and overwhelming tasks for families. Children's Mental Health Resource Center was created by, for, and about families living with mental health challenges. Our staff helps families understand their children's mental health needs, navigate the confusing world of mental health treatment, and get on the path to stability. CMHRC offers a variety of programs and services to help you and your child. Through diagnostic consultation with both families and professionals, CMHRC helps identify relevant mental health diagnoses. This helps families understand what they're facing and helps practitioners provide the best possible treatment. We also offer support for parents and schools as you navigate developing an IEP or 504 plan. Our mental health experts work to educate teachers and school staff on your child's mental health while they're at school and in the classroom. We can also recommend accommodations and supports to help your child succeed. Our newest resource for families and their providers is called the CMHRC Toolkit. This simple-to-use web app tracks daily symptoms, medications, mood summaries, and even the local weather. We also offer a membership program that provides community building, personal connection, and support for families experiencing the isolation that goes along with living with mental illness. Our provider membership offers opportunities for professional development, collaboration, and interdisciplinary support. Managing mental health challenges is a lifelong process, but you are not alone. With these resources and more, Children's Mental Health Resource Center is here to help make things a little bit easier. For more information, head to the CMHRC website today or reach out directly by email.
Now, all of the programs and services that we offer, we attempt to offer as many of them as we can free of charge or at extremely low rates, because we are a nonprofit organization and we rely on the generosity of our donors in order to make our work possible. Donations make it possible for us to make as many of our resources as possible available for no charge or at a very low fee. So if you value the work that we do, if you attend our events, participate in our programs, a way to give back is to make a gift in 2024. Donations can be made through our website at cmhrc.org/donate. And as you'll see later in the presentation, there are some additional benefits that come back to you as a donor. Now, our successful program launches in 2023, there were many. I'm going to focus on these 6 today and talk about our book club, our live monthly webinars, our live monthly clinical seminars, our diagnostic consultation service, which is for families as well as providers, our school advocacy program, and the CMHRC Toolkit web app. Our book club was a great success in 2023. This was launched by our clinical director, Jennifer Sevick. In 2023, book club read The Bipolar Child by Dimitri and Janice Popoulos, Peaceful Discipline by Sarah Moore, Rules by Cynthia Lord, and The Bipolar Survival Guide by David J. Miklowitz. These books and these book club sessions were led by Jen and our volunteer Alyssa, and they work together to make a book club an opportunity for people to read the books, come together, discuss not only the topics and the information that they contain, but also to help develop a sense of community as family members and professionals are able to discuss how the contents of these books are represented in their daily life and work. Our monthly live webinars were a huge success in 2023, and we tried to cover many different diverse topics. Everything from understanding why children are misdiagnosed when they are living with childhood bipolar, to understanding biomarkers, cooling strategies. We had a wonderful seminar, which is going to be the first of many in a series called Back to School Essentials each August. This past August, we met with pediatric speech and language pathologist Bobby Adams, who talked with us all about the ways and the things that families need to know as they embark on the process of having their child evaluated for a speech or language disorder. Last fall, we had an incredibly informative and moving webinar with Jan Batsuki and her son Matt, as they discussed how Matt has found success in treating his bipolar disorder by using a ketogenic diet to help him manage his symptoms. We also had a powerful presentation by paramedic Luke Meehan last fall when he talked about when and how to call 911 in a behavioral emergency and what to expect from 911 and the responders when they get to your house. Our monthly clinical seminars have also been a great success. These are geared more towards professionals, mental health professionals, physicians, educators, occupational therapists, anyone who professionally works with children, although many families find the information in them to be very helpful. In these monthly live clinical seminars, we've covered important topics such as differentiating bipolar from ADHD, how and why the DSM fails providers and their patients, and the fundamental question of whether or not kids can have bipolar in the first place, and if so, how to recognize and diagnose it. We introduced and took a deep dive into this new diagnosis called fear of harm, or FOH, which is currently being referred to by researchers as thermoregulatory sleep dysregulation disorder. In the second part of our ketogenic series from last fall with Jan and Matt Batsuki, we had a follow-up event where the medical director of the Metabolic Mind, his name is Dr. Brett Scher, came to talk with us about the science behind using metabolic therapies to treat mental illness. And at the end of the year, we had a very successful two-part series on the limbic system, where our clinical director, Jennifer Sevick, took us through what the limbic system is, how it impacts and interacts with symptoms of mental illness, and importantly, how we can use what we know about the limbic system to help our kids and others de-escalate when they have become dysregulated emotionally. We also have a diagnostic consultation program that we launched. In this program, we work with families to help them understand the diagnoses that their children have been given, or to help them clarify what diagnosis may be most likely. In these diagnostic consultations, we work with families by collecting all kinds of information and taking a truly holistic approach to viewing their child. We collect information from pediatricians, occupational therapists, psychologists, neurologists, any report cards that have ever been written about this child. Then we conduct our own assessments and clinical interviews with the family to come up with a clear picture of what the most likely diagnosis is. Then we share, along with that, what the best practices are regarding diagnosis and treatment for that disorder for the age group. We include peer-reviewed published research papers that document those best practices and treatment interventions. We also then communicate with the child's providers to create a truly team understanding of what the child's diagnosis is and how they can get the best help as quickly as possible. We also have a companion program of diagnostic consultation with professionals. And I'm going to share with you now a video that we made to discuss how that service works.
Providing care to a child or teen with a serious mental health disorder can be complex and challenging for providers. In addition to helping your clients manage changing symptoms, you also need to collaborate with their parents, other service providers, schools, insurance companies, and more. You want to give your clients the best possible treatment, but these demands plus overbooked caseloads can make that harder than it needs to be. But CMHRC is here to help. As part of our comprehensive support of mental health clinicians, we offer diagnostic consultations to help you help your clients. Our mental health experts take a holistic and in-depth approach, reviewing all of a client's previous assessments, symptoms, interviews, and other information to complete a thorough differential diagnosis to support or clarify the diagnosis you're building a treatment plan for.
As the provider, you may already know what your client needs, whether it's weekly 1-hour sessions, a specific medication, or another type of therapeutic treatment. However, insurance companies may question your judgment, especially if they consider your client's condition to be overdiagnosed or to be supposedly a rare psychiatric disorder.
When you partner with CMHRC for a diagnostic consultation, we provide comprehensive and clinically sound documentation that you can present to that insurance provider. This documentation can also be used when you're collaborating with other service providers on the client's team, ensuring the entire care team is aligned on the client's treatment needs. In addition to this documentation, you can participate in CMHRC's professional discussion group, where you can confidentially discuss complex cases with other providers, gaining valuable insight and perspective from other providers who are experts in mood disorders and related conditions.
Getting to be involved with the Children's Mental Health Resource Center was just an unbelievable benefit for myself and for my patients. I have yet to have anybody not come away from speaking with anyone at the Children's Mental Health Resource Center, or even just using the things online, that haven't felt it's like they have extremely benefited from it.
Ideally, every provider would be able to engage in the in-depth detective work it takes to appropriately ensure all possibilities have been reviewed and considered. But the reality is that packed appointment schedules, administrative duties, documentation requirements, they more severely limit your time. CMHRC's professional diagnostic consultation service frees up your time while not compromising the quality of care and attention your client deserves. When you utilize CMHRC's diagnostic consultation services, you join a community of professionals as we work together to support your practice, your patients, and the field of mental health.
This is not a static profession that we're in. Things are evolving, they're changing. That's the other wonderful part about the Children's Mental Health Resource Center is the information is there. I like the fact that I am learning new things every day from the things that you put out there. Being part of the membership, I can access the information. So at my fingertips, I am able to pull things out and talk about, what's going on. My confidence level has gone up tremendously.
Learn more at cmhrc.org today.
So that was a peek at what we do with this diagnostic consultation service for providers. Our approach for helping families is just as thorough, and then afterwards, as part of the service, we will work with your providers to ensure that you get the appropriate treatment for the likely diagnosis. We also launched our mental health in school advocacy program. The interesting thing about this program is that there are a lot of folks out there who provide educational resources for families when they are having to have an IEP or 504. But we take a very unique approach. We don't get involved in the educational or academic goals and objectives on an IEP. What we do as mental health providers is we go in to work with a family on their IEP and 504 plans and virtually attend meetings with one very specific goal. Our job is to bring information to everyone in those meetings about the mental health diagnosis that the child has. We want to make sure that everybody understands the disorder symptoms, the impact that they have, the way they present at school, the way they present at home, how the child manages and copes with that disorder, and how they impact the child's ability to function at school, on the playground, as well as in the classroom, because mental health challenges impact a child's ability to learn. And so an IEP that doesn't take into consideration a child's diagnosis and their social and emotional learning isn't an IEP that is truly complete. And so in our program, we work together for an entire year with a family to ensure that their child's mental health needs are effectively represented in their IEP and 504. And we work on behalf of that family to interact with teachers, administrators, special education staff, so that everybody who interacts with the child at school understands those accommodations and interventions and why they're necessary. We also launched in the spring of 2023 our web app, which we just call the CMHRC Toolkit. This is an incredible app that is helpful in allowing people to understand symptom presentation, its intensity, its frequency, to understand and keep track of changes in medications, to keep track of the weather, and an overall understanding of how someone is doing in terms of managing and remaining stable. I'm going to show you one last video, which is on the toolkit and goes into detail on how it's used.
When kids are struggling, it's often labeled as behavior problems. But in many cases, those behaviors are actually symptoms of mental health challenges. Identifying symptoms, determining whether or not there's a mental health disorder, and getting good treatment can be confusing and overwhelming tasks for families. The Children's Mental Health Resource Center was created by, for, and about families living with mental health challenges. Our staff works with families to help them understand their children's mental health, to navigate the confusing world of mental health treatment, and to get on the path to stability. Our newest resource for families and their providers is called the CMHRC Toolkit. This simple-to-use web app tracks daily symptoms, medications, mood summaries, and even the local weather. For families, the CMHRC Toolkit functions similarly to a diary. You start by creating a profile for the child or individual you're keeping track of. You add details about current and past diagnoses, medications, and which symptoms are most difficult to manage. Helpful menu options and the opportunity to add your own custom information means you'll have the most accurate and up-to-date picture of stability. Once complete, you can start tracking symptoms every day. It takes just a few minutes to input a daily entry with easy-to-follow prompts and a clear rating scale. The current weather can be added automatically using your computer's location with the click of a button. Once you've entered information, you can visualize trends over time with easy-to-read graphs like the Symptom Severity Index score. Families can also choose to share their toolkit data with their healthcare provider. Mental health care practitioners can manage multiple patients from a single dashboard. Data is anonymized to protect the patient's identity, but with an alias, providers can ensure they know which patient is which. Practitioners have access to daily data from patients, so you can quickly see how your patient is doing when they're not in your office. This information gives you a clear picture of how treatment is going, and comparisons of symptom data with medication changes quickly helps determine if the current course of treatment is effective or needs adjustment. The CMHRC Toolkit also helps you get concrete data on a new patient's history or quickly get up to speed on a patient you haven't seen in a while. When you or your child is struggling with a mental illness and you are just trying to get through each day, it can be hard to have an objective sense of how treatment is going, how symptoms are changing over time, or how effective medications actually are. The CMHRC Toolkit helps you step back and get a clear picture of all of these factors. CMHRC members who've used the toolkit have shared that it helps them save time, energy, and worry as they navigate living with a mental illness. Whether you are a provider, patient, or family member, you can access the CMHRC Toolkit for a small monthly subscription fee. You can also access the toolkit by becoming a CMHRC member. Managing mental health challenges is a lifelong process, but the CMHRC Toolkit can make it a little bit easier and give you more peace of mind. For more information, head to the CMHRC website today.
As I said, this toolkit is really a tremendous resource, and the folks who are using it can't say enough nice things about how helpful it is at being able to really delve into changes and understanding what types of interventions and treatments are needed when, because you know exactly what you're facing. Now, coming up in 2024, we have some new programs that we're launching or hoping to launch. Next week, we are starting our first round of the new year of our palliative parenting class. We will be launching a national referral network for families and providers. We are looking to hopefully start a metabolic therapies education and support program, a national provider education program, looking forward to partnerships with other nonprofits and other companies, and we'll be launching a new book club format. Our palliative parenting class, the first round of which for 2024 is beginning next week, was developed by CMHRC professionals along with parents and those who live with mental illness. It's based on our palliative parenting concepts, which really focus on the importance of maintaining good quality of life for our children now and into the future. The current modern popular parenting paradigms are based on ideas of achievement, accomplishment, being incredibly busy at activities, building a resume, and really having children who are compliant. Our palliative parenting approach really focuses not only on how to raise children more holistically, but also in terms of the unique challenges that are faced by parents whose children have mental health challenges. There are many things that need adjusting, and that current modern paradigm just doesn't work. And so our focus is on creating a system that parents can follow that will give them and their children relief now from some of the conflict and chaos that goes along with living with an unpredictable mental illness with involuntary symptoms. This program is designed to give parents not only the understanding of the abstract concepts, but also to give them concrete, specific strategies and tools to try immediately to bring some harmony and quality of life to their child who struggles, to their other children, and to their home in general. Some of the things that folks who've been involved with this program have said are included here on this slide. One parent said, "It is such a relief to finally shed the expectations of others and be the parent my child needs instead of the parent everyone else wants me to be." about palliative parenting. Specifically, they said palliative parenting helps me to be the parent my child needs me to be to minimize their emotional pain and to live up to their capabilities. Another parent said, I'm parenting the whole child and making decisions that give my child the best quality of life. All of these things are about this fundamental idea, not that we want to coddle our children, but that we want them to be able to live up to their capabilities and be and feel successful. So that program will be running throughout the year. We've received a grant to subsidize the fees associated with it. If you were interested in being a part of it, we can certainly get you set up for our additional rounds that will take place each quarter. We're also developing a national referral network for families and providers, and the purpose of this is to reduce delays in access to care. The CDC and the National Institute of Health have put out statistics indicating that it takes an average of 10 years from the time a child starts to experience symptoms until they are able to access an accurate diagnosis and a treatment plan that works. That is just too long. 10 years is a childhood lost, and it is our goal to get children and families access to providers who understand the unique presentation of mental illness in childhood. The diagnostic criteria is not always listed in the DSM, and we're working with those providers to make sure that they understand how to identify and effectively treat childhood onset of mental illness. Our referral network will allow families to access information on providers who can help them with that. And it will also allow providers to be able to be accessed by underserved communities in need of providers who understand the unique needs of children. We will allow providers the opportunity to have a verified listing. Verified providers are those who will be vetted by CMHRC mental health professionals through months of professional collaboration. We are going to be working with professionals in our diagnostic consultation services, through our professional development discussion groups, and through other collaboration working either professional to professional or with families who are already a part of our community. We're also hoping to launch, as I said before, a metabolic therapies education and support program. This is very new. We are still developing this program. Funding is still being sought. We're hoping to find funding that will allow us to run a 12-month-long program to support families and individuals who want to try metabolic therapies to treat their mental health disorders. Our working title for this is Metabolic Therapy in Action, and we would be using medical information that is available to help families move away from the standard American diet, which is the acronym for which is SAD, which is filled with lots of processed foods, artificial fillers, and things that we know from research when people move to a more whole foods diet, reducing sugars, reducing carbohydrates, moving towards higher quality proteins, they're able to improve their overall mental health outcomes. It's extremely difficult for a family to change the way they eat, shop, cook, and celebrate. And so this program is designed not only to provide education, but to provide support so that those healthy changes that are made to promote mental health can be sustained long term. We're also in the process of developing and seeking funding for a national provider education program. This would be a hybrid online and in-person multi-city educational bridge between the previous training that many mental and physical healthcare providers have and up-to-date research-informed practices for treating mental illness in childhood. We would be working with psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, LMFTs, licensed professional counselors, pediatricians, occupational therapists, really you name it. If you are a professional who works with children and teens, our National Provider Education Program is going to be geared towards you, towards allowing you with your busy schedule to learn the essentials of what needs to be known in order to, again, shrink that delay in access to an accurate diagnosis and effective treatment by teaching you what you need to know to be able to identify mood disorders, bipolar disorder, and its newly identified phenotype FOH in children and teens early, because we know that early intervention is the best tool that we have for long-term positive outcomes. We are also looking to partner with other nonprofits and as well as for-profit companies. For example, last year CMHRC worked with the organization named Akin. They are actually a for-profit, and they work to provide support to families of adults who are living with schizophrenia. We collaborated and we have aligned missions to support families and patients. And last fall, I was actually on a podcast with Akin's CEO, Stephanie, and it was a wonderful experience. We're looking forward to having her join us sometime later this year as well. These and other collaborations allow for those of us who are working in the space of mental health to work together on shared mission and shared purpose. We're launching in 2024 a new book club format. When you register to attend our book club, you can now opt to receive a copy of the book, either as a hard copy or a Kindle version, directly from us. By purchasing the book for the book club sessions through CMHRC, you will obviously be supporting this program and ensuring its sustainability, but you will also receive an advanced copy of the questions and topics that will be covered in the book club session. So that's a really nice perk. Our 2024 book club selections have been made available. We're starting with The Explosive Child by Dr. Ross Greene. That book is pretty dense. We're going to be breaking it into 3 segments where each session will discuss a different aspect of the book, so they're not repeats. January 18th, February 15th, and March 21st. You can opt to buy the book from us or not. You can make that decision when registering. In April, we are going to be reading the book Brainstorm, From Broken to Blessed on the Bipolar Spectrum by author Sarah Schley. This will be a very special book club session because Sarah will be joining us for this book club and discussing her book with attendees. She's also going to be joining us for our March webinar, where you'll hear her talk, and then you'll be able to come to our April book club session so that you can talk with her directly about her book. We'll also be reading You Are Not Alone, the NAMI Guide to Navigating Mental Health by Ken Duckworth. That will be covered over the course of 2 sessions, May 16th and June 20th. We'll be reading Turtles All the Way Down by John Green, which is a fictional book that addresses the reality of living with mental illness. And we're going to be reading, again over the course of 3 sessions, The Out of Sync Child, Recognizing and Coping with Sensory Processing Disorder by Carol Stock Kranowitz. In November of this year, we're going to have a very special session where all of our book club members can come together and can talk about what they're reading and make suggestions for our 2025 book club lineup. If you're interested in getting more information on these books, please go to our website, cmhrc.org, and under the free resources tab, look for book club. We're also going to continue with our free webinars and clinical seminars every month. This month, we are going to be having, next month we're going to be having a webinar called Parent and Caregiver Self-Care with life coach Ann Reed. Ann is a wonderful member of our community, and she has a tremendous amount to share about how parents and caregivers of children and teens who have mental illness can take care of themselves to help them take care of their children better. Bipolar Success, as I mentioned, in March with Sarah Schley, author of Brainstorm. And we will be having a webinar in April called Therapy 101, why we go to therapy and what to expect when we're there. Our clinical seminars will also cover a diverse host of topics. We're starting this month with Helping the Helpers, Self-Care for Mental Health Providers. Well, we'll be doing a panel discussion with mental health providers on the best practices on how to help themselves so that they can help their patients. And next month, we're having a very important clinical seminar that touches on something that's very near and dear to us, the myth of misbehavior, differentiating misbehavior from symptoms in children and teens. Excuse me. In this seminar, we will be directly addressing the fact that many adults misunderstand involuntary symptoms and view them as willful behaviors on the part of the child. We'll be making some changes to our membership program in 2024, the most exciting of which is that membership in CMHRC will become tax deductible. Family and professional memberships are going to be moving to a contribution model, and members will include anyone who's making a recurring scheduled contribution. Existing memberships can easily be converted to this new model and become tax deductible. Members will, of course, continue to have access to our national referral network as well as our archive of webinars and clinical seminars and educational and motivational videos. We, as I said, do webinars and clinical seminars every month. And so we are putting out video content roughly 3 times each month that members continue to have access to. New benefits for members will include the following. For all of our courses, palliative parenting, keto metabolic therapies, all of our live events that have a participant maximum, members will have a 7-day priority sign-up access for all of these courses and live events. Members will also have a 30-day exclusive member access to all new video content. Members will have a quarterly members-only Zoom session with CMHRC leadership, including myself, the executive director, our clinical director, Jennifer Sevick, and members of our board. We will have partnership discount exclusives, and when they're available, they'll be made exclusively available to our members. And members will receive a member-only update regularly with exclusive access to communications and links. We're more than just providing services at CMHRC. At CMHRC, our goal is to create a community of families that can turn to one another for support, resources, and information, and a community of providers who can work together to ease symptoms and provide effective treatment for children and teens and adults who are living with mood disorders, bipolar disorder, and FOH. So please don't hesitate to get involved. You can be a part of this community by following us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can attend our free webinars and clinical seminars. You can sign up for a palliative parenting class and other courses that we offer. You can consider using programs and services like the diagnostic consultation program for families or for providers, or our school mental health advocacy program, or our transition services that help as families attempt to transition from one provider to another. You can become a CMHRC ambassador in your community, and you can support CMHRC by becoming a member with a recurring monthly contribution. CMHRC members who are part of our community and attend our live events can request certificates of completion. For family members who may be asked to participate in our live events because of court involvement or something like that, we do have certificates of attendance that we can send to you. For providers who are looking for continuing education documentation, we can provide you with a certificate of completion, which you can submit to your state. Each state licensing board, and each professional association has their own requirements regarding continuing education. And we can't guarantee that it will be accepted by all, but we can provide you with a certificate of completion that you can submit for continuing education. If you'd like to become a member, you can go to our website and check out our member page under the menu heading Membership. You can also make a gift to support all of the charitable work that we do through cmhrc.org/donate. There are options on that page. You can become a sustaining member, you can make a one-time gift, or you can make a gift in honor of a loved one through our In Memoriam page. You can also find out what's coming up for the rest of the year on our webinars page, on our clinical seminars page, on our book club page, all of which and much more is listed on our website under the Free Resources tab. You can also make an appointment to meet with someone from CMHRC for a free consultation regarding any of our paid services. You can find those on our website under the Services tab in the main menu. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can reach us at admin@cmhrc.org. That is ADMIN. Or go to the Contact Us page on our website and send us an email. Thank you so much for being here to hear about all the exciting things CMHRC accomplished in 2023 and hopes to do in 2024. We look forward to having you as a part of our community.